would like to offer a brief introduction of the Apple Classroom app, an extremely beneficial and helpful application to use in any one-to-one initiative. And I'm going to go ahead and open up this Classroom app, and it'll bring me to a menu, an active menu of my class schedule. When I say an active menu, I can click on any of these links here, and it will bring me up to additional features to use within Classroom. And I'm going to click on a class period here. I've selected my homeroom, and it will bring me to a menu where I can see additional features and options as far as the students that are in my classroom at that time. I can see a list of all of my students, and I can see which applications they're using, like this top menu that will show me that there are 23 students in my class, 9 are on the home screen, 1 has Notability open, and 1 is using YouTube at this time. Looking below on the menu, I can see additional details to see who is offline, meaning either their Bluetooth is turned off or their iPad is not in the room. I also have the ability to see who has a low battery, and I'm greeted by small icons that allow me to quickly see which applications are open on which student device. Now let's look at the top menu a little bit, and I'm going to tap on one of these features, which is the live screen view. When I tap on the live screen view, it allows me to see, obviously, a live view of what is on student screens, and this is updated frame by frame over Bluetooth. This really does greet me with high quality graphics, and I can very clearly make out what is on each student's screen. But let's look at these top options a little bit. Right now we're going to explore the open feature, but I also have the ability to quickly lock and group students together. These may come in play if you're doing things like flexible grouping, or you want to group students to only open certain apps or only lock certain apps on different devices. Now let's open apps. When I click on the open menu, I have the ability to open apps on either groups of students or all students, and I have the ability to lock students into an app after opening. Now I'm going to toggle that menu on, and that will do several different things. Well, first off, it's going to force open that application on a student device. So I'm going to open up iTunes U on a student device. This means that they cannot get out of iTunes U. Their home button is disabled. Their sleep button is also disabled. The only way out of that app is if that student does a hard shutdown of their iPad by holding their lock screen and home screen buttons at the same time. When I open that application, it brings me to the screens view, and I can see a live view of what's going on that screen, and you can now see a lock icon on those students' devices. As I have the circled lock feature here, I'm going to tap on a particular student's screen, and it brings me up to additional details. Two areas that are grayed out are assign and log out. These would be used in a shared system, but with us being in a one-to-one device system, those are not necessary. And additionally, I'm not sure about the password feature, if that will be enabled in the future. So the open feature we just saw with this student, we could also use the AirPlay option to force this student to be on any Apple TV device that we choose. We could also have that student be forced through the navigation feature to go to a particular website. We also can zoom in on that one student screen by tapping on View Screen, or if I would want to, I could click on Unlock. So let's say I wanted to allow that student out of iTunes U, maybe they have notes in Notability, and I want to get rid of that lock feature, I would tap on the Unlock button. And I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. I'm going to click on Unlock just to unlock that one student, but you can see in the background every other student in that class is still locked if they're present. I have one student that's offline. So I can see the difference here of that one student I unlocked, that lock icon is gone, yet on every other student's device that lock feature is still there. So I'm going to tap on a student's view live button there, and when I click on that icon, students sometimes will ask, can I tell if a teacher is watching me live or not? And they can. When you're watching a student live, at the top of the screen they will be greeted by a blue bar. This blue bar does, as I said, it notifies a student that somebody is watching them or that their Apple device is being AirPlayed on an Apple TV. Now, Apple Classroom can also be used in split screen mode, so if you wanted to use that, you could have a different application open in the background or run it side by side using split screen. Now back to the top of the menu, I explored the open and the screens options, Clicking on Navigate will allow you to obviously navigate to a website with a student. Now tapping on the lock icon will essentially bring up a lock icon on the student screen as well, and it will let them know that their device has been locked by their classroom teacher. Now there might be a worry of what if a teacher forgets to unlock their student's device before they leave for the day or go to a different class. Will their device be locked in a different classroom? And that option, or that answer, is no. When a student leaves your Bluetooth range area, their device will become unlocked and then they can go about their day. There's also, as I said earlier, the option to group students. By tapping on this group, perhaps I only want to open certain apps on certain students' devices, or I only want a certain group of students to be locked or unlocked, whatever it may be. I can use that feature as well. Now, as I said, this operates over Bluetooth, so if a student has their Bluetooth turned off, which they do have the capability to do at this time, you'll know that immediately if a student repeatedly is showing up as offline. In my classroom over the past week or so, as students have walked in, I've just constantly reminded them at the start of class, by the time you walk in, your Bluetooth must be toggled to the on option. This application is extremely user-friendly, it's very easy to use, and it's very intuitive. Now these options, as I said, they are very helpful in the one-to-one classroom environment, and I hope that you enjoy using Apple Classroom as soon as it's made available to you